Hey, how's it going, everybody? Sarasota Tim coming to you from inside the CC Rider. I'm going to go out and take a run right now. I'm just leaving Fred and Rafaela's house. You guys know who Fred and Rafaela is, my dear friends. And she bought me a gift about, right before we went to Georgia to shelter in place from the hurricane. She bought me a Baconator. That's what I call it. It's a microwavable dish that you put in and you can cook bacon on it. Probably other things too. It's got the little ribbed bottom. And she didn't realize that the size of it, it fit in my microwave, but it wouldn't spin around. And there's a reason things are supposed to spin, I suppose, in microwaves, because the bacon would come out burnt on one side, raw on the other. It was like, I mean, I didn't want to be unappreciative, but it was like, this thing is no good. I'll stick to frying it because at least I can control how it's cooking. So I found out that it had to do with spinning it around. So when we were in Georgia, she was saying, you give me that one back, and we found out about round ones or smaller diameter ones, and I'll get you, the round one. So I just left her house having coffee and watching the Al Smith dinner last night with the roast on Donald Trump, because Kamala Harris didn't show up, although they roasted her, but she didn't have her chance. That's another story. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Rafaela invited me over and said, I got you another Baconator. And this is going to go perfect in my microwave. And as you can see, you take the lid off. It has the ribbed bottom. You lay the bacon on. And, you can cook other things too. Pizza or whatever. So, and she made some bacon as a snack for Fred and I. And it was the best bacon I ever ate in my life. And she put it in her microwave using the square one that she'd gotten me. She goes, you know what? I love that thing. And it really does come out good, folks. I don't care. If you're used to frying bacon in a black iron skillet or a Teflon pan, it comes out very well. And it was perfectly brown all throughout. I forgot how long she did her, checking it and all that. But she served us about 3 slices each. And like I said, it was the best bacon I ever ate in my life. So she said, I love this thing. So she's only going to use hers, and I've got mine. Thank you very much, Rafaela. That was great. They're such nice people. And she made some coffee. Now, she's got a big coffee maker. It makes like 12 cups. And she's got the heavy whipping cream. She won't let Fred drink it. That's for me. But mainly it's because she doesn't want Fred on it, for calorie reasons. Fred's 84. And so he's restricted to half and half. But I like this heavy whipping cream. May not be good for me either, but my community says that's what I can do. So it's on the carnivore. I need some kind of fat or something. I don't know. So I'm drinking it. And it is delicious. In fact, she made me a cup of coffee. It was the best cup of coffee I ever drank in my life. I had 2 cups. I had one, and I had another half a cup. And I said, this is really good coffee, Rafaela. And she goes, that's because I make it. She's got that Italian accent, Anyway, folks, I got my laundry done back here. My phone's already going dark because the sun here in South Florida, we're only a mile from it. It, heats up the iPhone. The iPhone can't take it. When I was out in Vegas, just walking around, the iPhone went black just from the air, the ambient temperature. Now, I'm hopped up because I drink that coffee. I drink my own coffee, and she really made some good coffee. So I said, I got to go. I'm going to go take a run. So I'm going to go take a trot, not a run, but a trot. And I'm going to get a couple of miles in. I've got the energy. I went to the gym earlier, and I'm putting up some good weight. I'm definitely stronger. All this meat I'm eating is definitely protein feeding my muscles. But get this, folks, and I'm not arguing with you. This is 2 weeks I've been on the carnivore diet. I'd like to say it's 2 weeks and a day. It's at least 2 weeks. Let's just call it 2 weeks. I haven't cheated, aside from the nuts, really at all. At all. Maybe the cheese is doing it. But I was 205, I don't know, for months and years of my life, forever. And I got down to 202 a couple of times. And then after 2 weeks, the other day I was at Fred and Rafaela's and they got a digital scale. I got on it. I was 204.5 after 2 weeks on carnivore. Right at it. Today, I weighed in. You ready? 205.5. I went up a pound. So, but Fred and Raphael are both saying that I look a little thinner, my stomach's a little smaller, and she saw me on a video and thinks that I got no ass and I'm losing weight. And I'm like, okay, I'll take it. And so we will continue to do what we're doing. But I can't imagine, some of you say you've been on carnivore for years. I am not going to eat only meat for the rest of my life. I am going to introduce some vegetables. I won't necessarily need to eat bread and potatoes and rice and white flour and fried foods and all that. That's understandable. But how bad could some fruits, an apple, an orange, how bad could some broccoli, some carrots, I know corn's kind of bad, but how bad could a salad, with the low-cal dressing on it, how fat could somebody get if that's all they ate with the meat and keep the meat going, but no cookies, crackers, bread, white flour, potatoes, starches. So what do you guys think about that? I'm going to stick with the carnivore strictly for a while longer until I achieve, losing my stomach that I feel comfortable with and my waistline. But there's no question I'm stronger. There's no question the weightlifting is working. And there's no question I'm sleeping better. There's no question I don't have sugar in my system much anymore. I probably hit ketosis. I think I did. I haven't become irritable in any way. I don't know if the creamer in the coffee or the cheese, but it really isn't weight. Fred keeps telling me, forget the weight, will you? The number doesn't mean anything. It's how you look and how your clothes fit. And some of you out there are telling me that, with carnivore, eat till you're full. It doesn't matter. Others are telling me, you can't just eat all the steak and this and that you want. Is this guy going to want to come over on me? It's always so nerve-wracking. All right, so that's that. Let's move on. The Al Smith dinner. All right, I caught a few highlights this morning, the highlight reel, a couple of the jokes they thought were the funniest or whatever. I had no idea Jim Gaffigan went on that long, and it was so good. And did you watch it? If you didn't, it's on YouTube. It's an hour long. It is so worth watching because it's fascinating from many different ways. One, it's amazing of the wealth and the powerful people that are in one room. It's amazing that the people that are jackals on one another have sued one another, hate one another, come together, and for a moment, for a time, poke fun at one another. Now, they didn't say anything. They sat there and took it. Jim Gaffigan and Donald Trump did all the jabbing, as well as jabbing at himself. He says, I wasn't too keen on taking shots at myself. I've been shot at a lot lately. I mean, you got to laugh at that. And then talking about Tim Walsh, he didn't come in there either. He didn't show up, but he'll say he did. I mean, I'm only remembering a couple of them. You got to watch it. It's very, very funny. I'm pulling over here so I can finish talking to you guys. And hopefully this sun won't, if I can just pull away from not facing the sun right in my camera there, it won't go black on me. So it was just great. And the main reason I want you to watch it is for this reason right here. I'm going to tell you. I got to look at you and talk to you when I tell you this. All right, you ready? When Donald Trump got up there and started talking, there was a lot of truth in jest, but he was also not really telling jokes on some things. Some things he was just absolutely telling it like it is. You know, what he's been saying on the campaign trail. But there was no teleprompter. And I hate to give it all away. You got to just watch it. I know most of you probably did. I didn't. I went to bed, and I don't know what time it came on, but I didn't see it. But it was great because the way I watched it on YouTube was the cameraman that videoed it. When it was on TV, I'm sure they stayed right on Jim Gaffigan and probably not too much of the audience. But this version I saw, you heard Jim Gaffigan talking almost his whole thing, but the cameraman stayed on different people. I thought that was pretty cool, actually, showing who was there. And I mean, a lot of people you know, and a lot of people I don't know, but I know they're important, are rich, whatever, billionaires and stuff. Now, I'm not trying to impress you, or I was impressed by it. It's just that this was people that half of them loved him and half of them probably hated him. But it was so perfect. And it really worked out for Trump because in the end, he was telling all the things he's going to do. And, it was a Catholic charitable thing, fundraiser. And he has done a lot to help raise money. And for the first time in 40 years that a president or a vice president didn't come in lieu of Biden is, the first time. I was just watching this person over here. They're probably wondering, who is he talking to? But anyway, watch the show, the Al Smith dinner on YouTube without commercials. And Fred watched it, and he endured it and let me watch it again. He watched it a second time, and I saw it for the first time. It was amazing. If you come away from that and you don't see the competent level and what the reality is of what we're looking at and who will actually be best to be president of the United States. I mean, you're just in denial. If you watch that, and it's not a big campaign thing, but you see how Kamala snubbed that show, that dinner, and everybody in there is dealing with more than she's dealing with about somebody not liking her, like Trump and her. I mean, Chuck Schumer and him were sitting there. Chuck was laughing, some. And people were, he shook his hand and, you got to get over yourself. And this is the problem people have with Trump, is they have TDS. Now, I got no use for that Kamala Harris, like most people, because she's a fraud, a phony, a liar, disingenuous, and she wants to destroy the United States of America with the craziest ideas you don't even know about. But if you got TDS that bad that you just hate Trump because of the way he combs his hair, or that he grabs cats, or whatever else he said and done. One guy was in comments talking about he filed bankruptcy and he cheated some people out of money. Well, don't throw stones, my friend, in glass houses. Don't be trying to judge people that made mistakes and they're doing what they had to do rather than losing their entire empire. Look at the people that filed bankruptcy that are filing now in 2024 because they're so in debt with car loans and credit card loans and stuff, and they're exercising a right to restart. But I won't go there. I'm not trying to defend whatever he did about bankruptcy one time, and I'm just telling you, when he got up there and talked without a teleprompter, and he got up there and you could just feel it, and they feel it. And without a teleprompter, That's why she probably didn't show up. She could not probably, and Trump had lines, he read his stuff pretty much, and, he rehearsed it or whatever. But for whatever reason, she didn't come was a real embarrassment and a real terrible thing to do for the cause that it was. And, you could take off the gloves for a minute. I mean, Nancy Pelosi was there. Everybody that Trump has been crucified by, and I mean nobody. He goes over that. There was 2 other presidents that were crucified terribly. One president's wife died of heartache for what they did to her husband. But then it wasn't until Donald Trump came that he took the new record of somebody being crucified and ridiculed more than anybody. And I'm telling you, and then to endure the assassination attempts and everything else, and what this guy's done already for our country. And if he was going to destroy the country, wouldn't he have done it the first time around, the first 4 years? I mean, come on. Vote for Donald Trump, watch the Al Smith dinner, get over yourself, and start helping America crush it again.